Alrighty, episode 2, we made it. We made it. Duncan, we made it.
We did.
And what is this episode 2 of? What is it? What is it of? Why are you looking at me like you don't remember the name of our podcast?
No, I do. I just don't want to say
Say it.
Mr. Movies.
No, bring it closer to the mic. Get closer to the mic. Get closer to the mic. So that way you're intimate with the audience. The Mr. Movies podcast.
Oh my god. Why did we call it that?
Because we
every episode we need to question why we call it that.
That's gonna be the beginning. Best movies of 2019.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it. 2019 was a year. It certainly was.
Yeah. Anything big happened for you? Life-wise?
Nope.
Me neither. Very forgettable.
Yeah, I'd say it was a forgettable year.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad it's over.
You know what it wasn't a forgettable year for? It wasn't a forgettable year for movies. Because this is the Mr. Movies podcast. And what we're talking about here is movies.
I hate myself.
Hey. All right. So I have a list. What I do is I make a list of every movie I've seen, and it's in chronological order of when I saw it.
Wow.
So I'm gonna do mine backwards.
Oh, look at you.
Because I'm gonna get a little spoiler here. My favorite movie of 2019 was the first movie I saw in 2019.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what it is yet because I gotta build the hype.
Oh, I see.
Did you see a lot of movies in 2019?
No.
So I'm gonna have to talk a lot.
Probably.
You had one job.
I'm a bad film student. I'm gonna come out and say it. I don't like films that much. No, I love it.
So I'm not going to talk about every movie I watched. I'm just going to talk about the ones that, I watched. And I was like, I like that.
Do you mind if I go first? Because I'm the opposite. Like, the last movie I saw of 2019 was my favorite.
Okay.
Little Women.
Okay. Well, you talked about this in the last podcast.
That's
so
true.
We're not going to go...
I'm not going to talk about Little Women that much. All I'm going to say is that it's really good.
Okay.
And it's my favorite movie.
How short are the women in the movie?
Oh, they're all at least 5 feet.
5? That's pretty tall.
No,
we should sue them for false advertising.
I'm going to spoil one little bit.
Do they say, what are we, like a bunch of little women?
I can't believe you. A little bit.
Oh,
hear me out. This is all I'm going to say. So, for the first half of the movie, they talk about their dad who's fighting in the war.
Uh-huh.
And then halfway through, Bob Odenkirk comes in, and they're like,
is he
Dad!
in the movie?
Yeah, he shows up, and they're like, Dad! And Bob Odenkirk goes, oh, my Little Women.
Oh my god.
It was amazing.
That's hilarious.
It was fantastic. All right, you go ahead. You have the rest of the reins for the whole thing.
Parasite, already talked about it in the last podcast. Great movie, watch it. Marriage Story, great movie, watch it. Talked about it in the last podcast. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, great movie, talked about it in the last podcast. Listen to it if you haven't. I'm just scrolling through my list real quick. Oh, here's a movie I know you saw. Booksmart.
Booksmart, yeah.
Booksmart, directed by Olivia Wilde.
I really liked Booksmart.
I'm gonna be honest. I watched the trailer for this, and I said this looks like one of the worst movies of the year.
I remember we were offered a free screening,
and I did not want to go.
And I did want to go, but I didn't end up going. I forget why.
Because I don't know.
Anyway, we could have seen
I think I might have had a screening for Shazam that night, and I wanted to see that instead. That might have been it.
Maybe. But you've seen it now.
I have.
What do you think?
I loved it. It was the biggest surprise. I think it was the biggest surprise this year for me, was how much I loved Booksmart.
I was so in love with all the characters.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it felt very genuine.
It felt like high school.
It really did.
And I loved the thing of like the kids part, because I was very much that like uptight kid who focused on my grades, and then it did suck seeing those kids who had a good time get into good schools. And so I really liked this movie. I liked its take on that.
Yeah. Because, there was no element of, like, false superiority.
Yeah.
It's not like they were ever rewarded for being, like, better.
And I liked that the unpopular kids and the popular kids talked to each other, because I wasn't popular in high school, but, like, I talked to some popular kids.
Right.
There was conversation.
It's all about finding your similarities.
Yeah. So I really liked that. It felt real. It felt like this is probably the realest portrayal of a high school I've seen in a movie.
Wow.
I would go as far to say that.
There's a lot of movies about high school.
There are a lot of movies. This one, and to me, my favorite two coming-of-age movies are Booksmart and Edge of 17.
I did like that
I
one
love
too.
that movie.
That's not a 2019 movie, so we can't really talk about that. But also very good.
Yeah. All right, my next movie is a box office flop, but I enjoyed it. It got decent reviews, and it's a Terminator Dark Fate.
Ooh, I did not see that.
Really enjoyed this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's non-stop action. It kind of plays like a Marvel movie, but I think that's kind of a good thing for this movie. And it's just non-stop action. I thought it was really fun. I thought the action scenes were really good.
Yeah.
I felt for the characters. I liked the characters. I felt for them. I know some people were mad because the way the movie opens. I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
But I can understand that. But I think it was for the better. So at the end of the day, I'm happy with it. So that's that. The next one is Jojo Rabbit.
Ooh.
Taika Waititi outdid himself with this one. This movie, I cried when I saw this movie.
Wow.
He does a good job of balancing the comedy and the tragedy of the situation, and really showing like
what a situation.
In a situation, especially in like from the perspective of a boy in the Nazi party, or like being trained to be a Nazi. Like, I don't think there's another movie really like that.
I'm sure there is, but maybe not one.
Not from that perspective.
With such a spotlight on it, yeah.
Yeah, and I really loved this movie. I really felt for the characters. I felt for everything. You got to comment on stuff, otherwise it's going to be a short podcast.
Okay, I've heard a lot of really good things about Jojo Rabbit.
All right. Ask me questions.
Okay, did they utilize the cast?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd say every actor in this film has at least one scene that you will remember and take away from it.
Okay, that's
a movie is skipped on my list that I'm going to talk about now.
Yeah.
The Irishman. I'm not really going to talk about it because I, again, talked about it in the...
I do have a question about The Irishman.
Yes.
So, I don't know anything about the movie except it's almost 4 hours long.
Yeah.
I want to hear, like, do you think that was necessary? Do you think it could have been shorter? Do you
It
think
could
it's
have
a
been
good
shorter.
idea that it's that long?
It could have been shorter. I like the movie the way it is, and I honestly wouldn't take anything out.
There's no, like, low moment? Or, like
Not for me.
A dull...
I know a lot of people feel the opposite.
Okay.
For me, I thought every moment really made you feel for this character and what his life was like. And I like the way they take history and they play with it and they flip it on its head, and like they take real characters and put them through situations that probably were similar to what happened in real life but weren't.
Oh, wow.
I really enjoyed this. Oh, here's a movie I know you've seen.
Okay.
This is exciting. Duncan's going to talk, guys. I almost said Jojo Rabbit again. El Camino.
Yes.
Yes.
Man.
I loved El Camino.
That was a good movie.
I got to rewatch it. I really got to rewatch it. I just thought the cast. I thought everything, the story played out. What did you think about it?
I remember before I had seen it, you told me that it felt like 2 extra episodes of Breaking Bad. And
but it's more cinematic.
Yes, they definitely put a lot more care into how it looked, how it like came across.
Breaking Bad ended phenomenally.
Yeah.
And like this was a risk. This was a risk because it's like, oh my god.
They're sort of reopening something that they took a lot of care in shutting.
Yeah. And like even with like Better Call Saul, like the flash forwards haven't even dared to go there because they don't.
And Better Call Saul is very different because they're trying to go like a comedic route, but all of the characters are like deep rooted in all this horrible like evil stuff. Except
I'm probably going to talk about Better Call Saul in next month's episode. What did we watch? Because they're adding
season 4.
Season 4 onto Netflix. So I haven't seen it yet, and I'm really excited. Have you seen season 4 yet?
I haven't.
Okay, season 5 is starting soon.
I heard. Is it season 5 or season 6 that'll be the last one?
They're doing season 5 is airing now, and then season 6 is going to be the last one. I heard for this upcoming season that's about to air, they're bringing Hank back.
Really?
Yeah.
That's going to be...
I know.
Oh.
I just love the way they deal with the aftermath. I think Todd is one of the most fascinating characters in that universe, and I love that they really gave him a chance to...
Yeah, for sure.
To shine in it. And really, the story of Jesse, I thought it was a beautiful way to put that to an end.
Yeah, when you think about all the characters in Breaking Bad that deserve a spin-off, I think Jesse is one of the highlights.
Jesse was a main character, really, when you think about it.
And the arc that he goes through, and like the lack of control that he
I think
has.
what was great about Breaking Bad is that Walt gets to it starts out as Walt's story, and you see it through his eyes.
For sure.
And it gets to a point where you can't root for him anymore. And so you at a point it shifts to where it's now you kind of you see it through Jesse's eyes.
And all the while, right?
And that's hard for a show to pull off, and to pull it off.
It's about Walt's actions affecting those around him. So,
and I thought the way they utilized Walt's presence in the film throughout, as he's dead, like, and then this hunt, people are looking for Jesse. I thought they utilized that very well.
Well, at the beginning, right, they're finding his body. Right?
Yeah.
There's no free moment in between where Breaking Bad ended and El Camino picked
And
up.
I thought they did a good job of handling the fan service to where it wasn't forced, and it was very...
Characters were given scenes, but it didn't like go on too long.
Yeah.
They weren't like drawn out. They didn't say cheesy things. But like, yeah, it felt very. It just felt good to like settle back into that universe.
Yeah. Duncan, we have another movie that you've seen. I'm very excited.
Okay.
It's a movie we saw together.
Oh.
Mr. Joker.
Oh. Man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The Joker.
What a complicated movie.
See, to me, the issue is that it's not that complicated.
Oh, well then I'd love to hear your perspective.
That's my issue. I like the movie. I do. I bought it. I've rewatched it. I've seen it. I've seen it 2 times now. The first half of this movie is just a tad weak for me, and then the second half is where this movie really shines. I love the movie overall. I really do.
Okay.
But to me, the first half is just kind of like, you know where it's going. But I will say the more I watch it, the more I like the first half. And it's really starting to grow on me. So what did you think of The Joker?
Are you all ready to unsubscribe? I wish it was a little bit better. Okay. I'm a little worried to talk about
Did you want more?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want more. Because, okay.
It's got mixed reviews.
It's a complicated character to look at.
But the people who love it have been loud about it.
Yes.
So that's,
for sure.
Yeah. Which good for them, you know?
Oh, for sure.
If you love something, preach it to the choir. I love The Last Jedi. So, yeah, we're just losing all the subscribers.
We're all about
now,
freedom of speech here. The thing about Joker that I just could never get around is that I didn't like Arthur for a second. There was no moment, even from when the movie started, like they want you to feel bad for him and they want you to like...
That was my issue, because it's just people beating on him. And it's like, that doesn't make you like a character.
No.
It makes you somewhat feel bad a little bit, but...
But like, right? Like any Batman villain gets beat up all the time by Batman.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not crazy on spin-offs. Okay, because Joker isn't really a spin-off because it's its own character.
They have a different... So they have like the DCEU, and then this is called DC Black Label.
I don't care enough to follow that.
Yeah, so this is a DC Black Label, so I think they're going to start making more movies like this. I mean, I don't see why they...
Okay, I'll talk about what I liked. I thought as an art piece, very good film. Very emotional. I thought there are really powerful scenes that they pull off really well. And it looked good. I didn't think it went on too long. But, right, like, the character work. Like, they want you to care so much about Arthur because they don't focus as much on any other character.
Yeah.
And I guess if you never really like Arthur, then you can't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's definitely built to where you're not supposed to like him at the end. You're definitely not supposed to like him at the end. And they do a great job with that, because at the end you're like, okay, you know, you had your point you were trying to make, but you went around it a really wrong way.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah.
But, right, the whole concept of people who've seen The Joker who are calling it the best film ever made.
I don't agree with that.
Because, right, like...
If I have to choose between Joker and Taxi Driver, which are very similar films in nature, I'm choosing Taxi Driver.
That's fair. They actually are very, very similar. They both have Robert De Niro.
That's it. That's where the similarities are.
Yeah.
Is that all you have to say on that?
I guess, I suppose so. The
All
thing about Joker, it's just a hard movie to talk about, you know? Like, that's it.
That's it. All right. So the next movie I'm going to talk about is one of my favorites of the year. Probably my top five is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, I'm not a huge Tarantino fan. I'll be honest. I'll say it right here. I think he makes great films.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. To me, this film and The Hateful Eight are two of his best. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his best. I really do. I know a lot of people would disagree with me on that. I just think this movie took risks. I think it went for it, and I just think it's a great character piece.
Now, can you tell me what it's about?
No, because I really. The whole thing is it's about however you interpret what it's about.
Well, no one's been able to tell me.
Exactly.
I've been asked oh, what's the movie about?
I have it on Blu-ray, and I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna make you watch it.
Okay.
And you're gonna talk about it on the next podcast, or if we do an Oscar show. Well, I'm sure it'll be brought up then.
It's just how can you have a movie that no one can say what it's about?
It's weird, but it works.
It does?
It works so well.
All right.
It's a risky one, but it works. I'm definitely going to have you watch it. This one wouldn't make my top 10. Not Once Upon a Time, this next movie. Wouldn't make my top 10, but I just want to mention it because it got a lot of crap for being a remake and just being the same as the old one.
Oh,
but
I know what you're talking about.
What? Say it. What? Say it.
No,
say it.
You say it.
No, because I really don't think it's what you think. What do you think?
Well, based on what you just said and the person you are, right? I was gonna assume that you were talking about Spider-Man: Far From Home.
No. That one's on after this, though. We already talked about
Whoops.
that. Which one did you think it was?
Just say it.
No, because I'm curious. See what you do? You're wasting their time right now. They have better stuff they could be doing right now. But now they're don't drink that water and look at me like. It's The Lion King, the remake of The Lion King.
I didn't see that coming.
Okay. I thought this movie was incredibly well made. I thought the technology was astounding. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay.
If you're into filmmaking, watch it. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Good, fine.
Good, fine. I think the same thing. To me,
It didn't break my world.
They did a good job with this. The issue is I can't really complain about the movie. I just can complain about this iteration of Spider-Man. I don't like that Spider-Man's a one-percenter. And you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I feel like he hasn't had that struggle yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's interesting that the people he's fighting have all been one-percenters.
Yeah.
Or not one-percenter, but right, you have the scientists who have been shit on, right? The first one was a construction man.
Okay, I like the first one.
Vulture?
I really like the first one.
Yeah.
I get that it was a lot of fan servicey stuff, but I feel like they had to establish that this was a different Spider-Man. It's in the MCU now.
Mm-hmm. The thing about the villains, right? You have Vulture, who is a construction man who is wronged by Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be in the Morbius movie.
I know it is.
We'll talk about that one when we do our most anticipated of 2020.
Right. And then you have Mysterio, who is another, right, disgraced scientist. I do like how Spider-Man sort of has to deal with Iron Man's ghosts and the people he leaves behind.
They didn't really get into it too much.
Well, there's enough, I feel like. Because if Spider-Man is going to be Iron Man's protege, then it makes sense that he sort of has to clean up after him.
I guess. I don't know. I had some issues with the film overall. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There's one scene I hate.
Oh, which one?
It's the one where the drone is on the attacking the bus. To me, that's fine. It's the scene where he says, "Look, baby ghost," and then he jumps up and does it. I'm like, you're telling me nobody saw that? He literally jumps out.
You just thought it just wasn't handled well.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a totally fair criticism.
Next movie you've seen. You have seen more movies, than I'm giving you credit for. Toy Story 4.
Yes.
This movie made me cry.
I'll admit I was not on board for Toy Story 4.
I was. Last year I was excited for this movie.
You yelled at me.
I did yell at you.
I watched Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, and I was like, great, perfect, fine, book ended, we're done. And then when they announced
If they announce
4,
Toy Story 5 tomorrow, I'm there.
Really?
I'm there.
You're not worried about fatigue at all?
What have they done yet for fatigue? I don't feel fatigue. I feel like they haven't overdone it. I feel emotionally drawn to the characters. They've done a great job of establishing the relationships. Do I know what they would do? I don't know where they would go story-wise.
You know what the funny thing is, though? I would bet my life there's a Toy Story 5
There's
in the works.
probably going to be one. I think they're going to do one every 10 years or something.
10 years?
That's what the gap has been. They made 1 and 2 a couple years back to back. Then 10 years later was Toy Story 3, and now almost 10 years later was Toy Story 4.
Wow. In 30 years, if there has
I think
been
that's
another
perfect.
Toy Story, I think you can kill me. I'm making that pledge.
Okay. Any thoughts on Toy Story 4?
It was beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
I did not expect
the
it to be that
animation
good.
was phenomenal.
Yes, I can see why it took 10 years to make.
This one I'm not going to get too detailed into, but the next one is Rocket Man.
I've not seen that.
I really like this movie. I've seen it twice now. I just think if you're going to tell, Bohemian Rhapsody came out last year, and to me it was a tad all over the place. And I think this movie, in the areas where Bohemian Rhapsody struggled, I thought Rocket Man really strived. They didn't always try to. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just thought they did a good job of showing Elton John as a person.
Okay.
And just really
Would you say this is like a true by the books biopic?
It was marketed as what was the tagline they used, as a true fantasy, because it's very it's kind of like what they did for Mamma Mia with ABBA, where they take his songs and they turn it into a musical sort of, which sounds like it should not work, but it works really well.
It is hard to pull off.
Yeah, but they pulled it off.
That's good.
Yeah, I know Taron Egerton. First of all, the people who did the costumes and the makeup for this give them
Elton John,
all the rewards
known
in
for
the
costumes, right? That's a very
Dude
important
looks
element.
like Elton John.
Really?
Dude looks like Elton John. It's crazy. There are literally scenes. There was a scene at the end where they recreate one of the music videos, and my mom was convinced that it was just the music video, and I was like, no, they recreated
Really?
that. Yeah,
That's
it
sweet.
looks so good. Next one up is the one you've seen,
Okay.
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
I didn't like this movie.
That's fair. I think enough time has
Well, no,
passed
I
for
like
me
this
to-
movie. I like this movie, but God, the issue is with this movie is I have such good memories of it, and then I go back and watch it, and I'm just left feeling so.
It'll never be as good as the first time.
Don't say that. It sounds so weird.
Um,
I think Infinity War was such a masterpiece that for me it was hard to follow it up.
Here's my thing about Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I know people give Marvel a lot of shit for the writing and the stories that they use, but for me the best part are the characters, right? And the character work that goes into establishing these
That was an issue
heroes.
I had with this movie.
Yeah, and I mean, you just have too many characters.
It felt like
not enough time. on
Disney
any
had
of
a
them.
lot of input on this film.
Well, I guess if you're ending a 28 film saga, right?
Someone's going to correct that in the comments, but it's going to be in a very angry way because I know it's a little less than 28.
22.
Something like that. They already typed it. It's over.
23.
No, it's done. They
I wanna be right.
You've been crucified.
All right. Whoops. Sorry, everybody.
I think for me it just felt like, let's take these characters and we don't want to kill them off, but they can't be at the forefront anymore. So let's make Hulk talk now, so that way he's not,
That was a weird choice, especially since they haven't done a proper Hulk movie yet.
Yeah.
For them to just sort of condemn the character to this weird state, it's like, all right, well, I'm not looking forward to any Hulk movie now. That's for sure.
I mean, I like the last action sequence, even though there's stuff. It's definitely them just throwing stuff at the wall,
I
seeing
was
what
so
sticks.
tired at that point.
Really?
Because the movie had been going on for 2 hours, when they got to that.
You
big fight.
enjoyed it.
I mean, the first time it was everything I'd ever wanted.
Yeah.
As a Marvel fan.
But you got the novelty of it does wear off, I would say, after multiple.
Now, I watch it and I just sort of
The one thing I never liked was Pepper Potts in the Iron Man suit. I feel like that goes so against her character.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, that was the one thing for me where I was.
Well, because right in the comics she's rescue.
Not even in the comics, they don't even talk. I always hate that. I always hate. Well, in the comics, it's no.
No, that's what they're drawing from.
I know, but this is why I don't like that argument.
The character rescue is essentially Iron Man without the weapons, right? And her whole point is saving people, and for her to be like right beside Iron Man, like shooting holes in aliens.
In this movie, Pepper's whole thing was she doesn't like the suit, and you really think she's gonna go out there now that they have a kid and risk her life?
Yeah,
I didn't like that. I'm a sucker for Captain America catching Thor's hammer.
Wait a minute.
I feel like I'm really bashing on this movie too hard. I did enjoy it.
No,
I do like it.
Okay, can we pause?
Yeah.
I legitimately have a question about Endgame. So, they went back in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they brought back the people, where did Pepper come from at the big fight?
Pepper?
She shows up in the Iron Man suit.
She probably just flew in.
Who told her? She didn't. There was no portal.
I don't know. Maybe there was. I have it off screen. Stuff like that doesn't bother me. But stuff like that really doesn't bother me.
Okay. All right, whatever. I know you make
Howard the Duck was in it, you know?
Every time I say I'm kind of done with Marvel movies, you laugh at me.
Because you're not.
I'm legitimately a little tired.
No, you're not. I know you too well. I know you like a book. I think we've spoken enough about this movie.
Fair enough.
Did you see Us?
Yes, I did.
You've seen more movies. You were like, I don't know if we should do this podcast. I haven't seen a lot this year. So...
Us was fucking amazing.
Us was great. I've seen
so good.
I think I've seen it 3 or 4 times now.
The twist that they pull off at the end.
It's a little predictable, but you know what? It still works.
Yeah. They could have like really heavily foreshadowed it, but I think the way they used the twist was minimalist. And wow.
I thought it was very well directed.
Me too.
So you're done with Marvel movies? Because we saw Captain Marvel together.
Yes, we did.
To me, it's not the best of the year.
Sure, that's fair.
How about you?
As far as Marvel movies go, I would not put this in my top 10. I thought it did not deserve as much hate as it got. People like vehemently shit on it.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I think what Captain Marvel did...
I will say I rewatched it for a second time, and it worked better the second time.
Sure.
It's still not great, but...
Here's the thing. Captain Marvel tried to be very political. Like, in all of its marketing and its messages.
I don't even think so.
No,
I don't think so.
If you go back and look at the marketing...
I don't
and, like,
think
the
so.
interviews and stuff, they really wanted this to be, like, a footnote in, like, movie-going history for 2019.
Yeah.
And I think what happened because of that...
I think it's hard when you have Wonder Woman come out a year and a half before that and be as well received as it was.
Yeah.
I don't think you should try to go for that then. I think you go the opposite way. You go another direction. You don't try to do the same thing because it didn't work.
I was very on board for the first female-led Marvel film because honestly, it was time for something new. The issue is that Captain Marvel wasn't new enough as a character. I felt like
you'd seen the movie before.
I felt like they were banking too much on some of the unimportant aspects.
That's fair.
So overall, it wasn't the worst movie ever. Like
no,
people
not at
were
all.
like really shitting on it.
No.
And it was fine.
It was fine.
Get over it. It's fine.
Sam Jackson getting his eye ripped out by a cat was not fine. That was dumb, but it's fine. There's bigger things in life. I guess. Right. I don't know. We're going to talk about Captain Marvel again, but this time DC's Captain Marvel. Did you like that transition? You like that quick transition? We're going to talk about Shazam. Have you seen Shazam?
DC's Captain Marvel.
Watch a YouTube video. Shazam. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, you haven't seen Shazam? I love Shazam. To me, of the big market superhero movies, was my favorite one of the year.
Oh, really?
I think more than most people, I really love Shazam. It's in my top 10.
More than Endgame?
More than Endgame for me.
Wow. Everyone get him.
Everyone get him.
Get his ass.
I just thought Shazam... It's a family movie. It's a kid's movie for sure. But it's got kind of like that 80s charm to it. Like, it reminds me of Goonies, where it's a bunch of kids going on this larger-than-life adventure in their own, like, backyard. And like, you know, I loved it.
There's only 2 kids though, right?
2 kids plus a couple of kids. There's kids.
Oh, they just add more kids.
It's just they just want to see how many kids they can add into it.
All right.
I don't want to get into it if you haven't seen it. I'll make you watch it. I own it. So.
Great.
We're just gonna have a day. We watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Shazam. There's another one I can't remember. But I'm gonna talk about my favorite documentary of 2019.
Okay. Sweet.
And it's a rough subject, and it was the Michael Jackson documentary, Leaving Neverland. Shoot. To just illustrate the effect this documentary had. Illustrate the effect this documentary had. The effect. Why are my words not working?
It's a rough subject.
The effect that this documentary had on me. I have not willingly listened to a Michael Jackson song after I heard this, and when one comes on, I feel sick to my stomach. I know there are people out there that are against this documentary and say it didn't happen, and you know what? You're allowed to have your own opinion. I think you should watch the documentary before you form that opinion, but you're allowed to have your opinion. I cannot watch this documentary.
Even if there's a chance that it's
true.
I
cannot,
yeah.
Like, there's no way for me to deny it. Like, that it happened.
You're pretty sold.
It's these 2 kids and 2 adults now in different rooms explaining their story, and they're so similar and nasty, and like everything checks out. That's the thing for me. Like, every thought I was like, well, maybe this, and then like I would think about it, and I was like, no, because that happened, and then the other guy said this happened.
There were a lot of accusations that they were lying for attention and money.
Yeah. Well, you know, when there's money involved, I understand you gotta be cautious.
Especially for like a dead celebrity.
Yeah.
Right? They're not there to defend themselves. Do you recommend it? I haven't seen it yet.
I think if you've ever listened to a Michael Jackson song, you're not even a fan. If you've ever listened to a song, you need to watch it. You need to watch it because it's a new perspective. You have to go in it with an open mind, of course.
Right.
But I definitely recommend. Okay, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Moving on.
Fighting with My Fambo.
Yeah.
Family. This was the first great movie of 2019, in my opinion. To me, this movie, it was cheesy, it was corny.
Yeah.
It works so well. It's in my top 10.
I'm not a huge fan of wrestling. Do you still think I would like the movie?
I think you'd love the movie.
Okay.
Because really,
it has Florence Pugh.
It's about... I know how you feel about Florence Pugh. He has a painting of her.
I didn't paint the painting. It was a gift. I'm cutting that out.
No, you're not. It better say. I'm literally gonna come back and it's not in there. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's about family. It's about a family, and
do they fight?
They do fight with each other.
Man, relatable. Just kidding. Hi, Mom and Dad.
They legit fight.
Oh.
Like, they wrestle.
I would imagine.
A fun movie directed by Stephen Merchant is a directorial debut, and overall a fun time, fun movie. You're gonna feel good about yourself. It's like watching Rocky. Like, you just want to go out there and do something with your life.
After I watch Rocky, I want to eat a Philly cheesesteak.
I hate you. Honorable mention, my biggest guilty pleasure movie of the year.
Yeah.
Alita Battle Angel.
That's guilty.
That's all I'm going to say.
That is very guilty.
That's all I'm going to say. Oh, and also Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson was hilarious. So, what was your favorite movie of 2019?
Little Women.
Little Women? Okay. Any other movies you saw this year that are of note?
I don't think so. I didn't get out to the theaters that much.
I'm going to talk about my number...
Please do.
My number one movie...
I really don't know what this is.
Of the year. You actually... So, I'm stalling right now because I want to pull up the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Are you going to make me guess?
I'm not going to make you guess because I know I've told you what it is, so I don't want you to say what it is.
I really don't remember.
We saw it together in theater. It sits on Rotten Tomatoes at a whopping audience score of 68% and a critical score of 37%. And it's my favorite movie of the year.
I know what this is.
You know what it is? Do you want to say it? Say it.
Creed 2.
No, Creed 2 was last year. It is Glass. Yes, M. Night Shyamalan's Glass. The complaints in this movie, the way it was review bombed, the way people
did not like that movie.
I felt it was very undeserved. I thought this movie was great, and I think it has to do with the fact that people are so used to the big CGI. They wanted this big action sequence, and the movie promises you there's going to be this action sequence, and then it doesn't really happen. I think people were so taken by that they were like, oh, this isn't good. This movie focuses on its characters. I think it's incredibly directed, and something about it just resonates with me so much. I think I've seen the movie 8 times this year.
Wow.
I love this movie. I know you saw it.
I know you're very big on superheroes.
I am,
So
yes.
I'm curious to hear you go into why this movie, and it's sort of like, it's very alternative.
I like this movie because it's a superhero movie about people.
Oh.
And a lot of people say that like when a DC or Marvel like, it's a superhero movie about people. I know people said that about Endgame and stuff. No, this is for real. Like a movie about just people who just so happen to be in this circumstance. And I think it says a lot about society. This is what would happen if there were superheroes in the real world. This is what I genuinely think would happen. I think, I can't say it. I'm not going to spoil it because I know people are upset with the twist at the end, which I'm not going to get into again because I don't want to spoil it. I understand why that doesn't work for you. I get it. For me, it works. But I don't think that not working for you should be the reason why you don't like this movie. Because I think this movie has a lot to offer.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you think? Because you saw it.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Split.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, because I'm very big on character work.
Uh-huh.
And it's harder to find a better character than Kevin
Wendell Crumb. How could you forget? Oh my gosh.
Just the whole idea of having multiple personalities. It opens so many interesting doors to work with.
And I like the way Shyamalan, usually when he makes movies like this, he likes to start in with Split and Unbreakable, you start real grounded.
Right.
You introduce a not so grounded concept, and then you play with it and you go hard with it.
Yes.
And in this movie, what I think was different and what it was a challenge for him is that you start in the ungrounded world, and then it gets grounded.
Right.
And then it gets ungrounded again.
That is true. It does do that.
But it works. And I don't know. I think Shyamalan, as much crap as... He gets so much crap, and I think he's one of the most underrated filmmakers. Like, when he's good, he's great. I'm so happy.
I agree.
I think he's making his comeback.
The Sixth Sense was my favorite movie for a while.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
It was really good.
And I think, he's made some mistakes, but I think after The Visit, was his first, okay. Ease in. Then Split came out. I thought Split was phenomenal.
I loved Split. It was so good.
And then I feel bad because Glass got bombed, but I loved Glass. I know he's got 2 more movies coming out. I can't wait. I can't wait. So that was our favorite movies of 2019. Let us know down in the comments below what your guys' favorite movies were. And did you agree with us, disagree with us? We want to have conversations with you. And let us know what you want from this podcast, too. Steer us. We're in the car, and we want you to take the wheel.
We're not in the car. We're in the back seat
We're in the back seat of the car.
And we're asking for other people to drive us.
Yes.
Which sounds bad.
This sounds really weird. It did not work, but we're going to keep it in. Also, we each have our own individual YouTube channels as well that are linked to this channel. So you guys want to check those out, subscribe to those as well. It would help us out a lot. And we just want to thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed episode 2. We have some plans coming up for future episodes. We're going to be doing our most anticipated movies of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That one's probably going to be it'll come out soon, probably. I don't know. We're going to talk about it. But thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm sorry. That was really dumb. Okay, end it.
What was dumb about it?
End it. Just